Right, we have another mould for you from Diorama Debris, silicon rubber mould, 1/35 scale. Now this is concrete lintels and sills. Now this is for a 7mm wide wall, and the reference number is 1350021. It is made in the UK by RJ Nice, which is nice to know. Now we turn it over. It isn't very interesting at all, but I will open it up, we'll have a look, because the proof is when you actually cast it. Right, you've got a silicone mould here, but you've got them at different depths. These are 100mm long, and you get the sill, the lintel, and also the bits for the side, so you can actually put a sash window in. That's about all I can say about it at the moment. I really need to cast one, and then we can have a look at what comes out, and then we can have a little look at uses for it, as well as for doing windows. So I'm going to go off and I'm going to cast this one, and then we'll have a little look. Right, the mould which I've cast, I should take that out of shot, and I'll bring in what you actually get out of it. Alright, let's excuse the dirty hands because I've been rubbing around. Now, this casts, I'm doing that, different thicknesses of this lintel. Now they're called cast lintels, concrete cast lintels. Now they're 100mm long, which I shall put a ruler down there just so you can see. 100mm. Right, moulding wise, fantastic, came out the mould, no problems at all, gorgeous. And now you're going to say, well, what's is going to be used for, Simon? I shall try and demonstrate. To start off with, these are designed to be window surrounds. So the bottom one now, are we still in shot? Because I keep doing these things and not having shot. I know this is the 100mm large, but this will actually make your window surround up. The sill at the bottom, I'll get a pointy stick so you don't have to keep looking at my filthy hands. The sill sits at the bottom. You will have to cut these to suit your windows, but then you've got your surround and you've got your lintel at the top. Normally the sash windows that go in here on the surround. Now, another application for this, if we dispose of the thin one and we put the thick one in, narrow this up, this will also make a door opening as well. Being 100mm high, the first lift on a building is 70mm inside, so it's 70mm from the floor to the ceiling. That is the height of a lift, should I say, first to the first floor. So this will comfortably make your door surround with a decent step. That's basically what this is made for, is your windows and doors. Now, I got to thinking, if you wanted to build, for argument's sake, a concrete pillbox, you know the type I mean, like the coastal defences and that. Well, if you look at them coastal defences, they're all concrete. Now, I'll take these white ones out of the way for a second, and I'll bring these grey ones in. I've cast these in grey. I've also cast them in buff. There's the buff ones as well. So, but we'll just go through coastal defences, should I say. We're going right off the track, but it's just to give you an idea. Now, when they cast concrete, they use planks of wood to hold the concrete in while it was drying and shuttering. And that's the reason why normally if you look at some of these pillboxes, you can see all the grain of the wood still imprinted on the concrete, and it's always done in strips. If you ever look, if you ever notice them sort of things, but if you ever decide to build one, if when you were casting these you got a piece of the styrene with the wood effect on it, and when you floated it off level, if you drop that on the top there, that impression would go to the back side of that. That means that you could actually use these to actually build fortifications, because you'd get the right look. We'll take that big thing away. So you could actually use these and build your fortifications using the concrete beams and build it up like that. And you can then even use these to make like the bit where it disappears, where I've forgotten what the word is now. The way they're ridged back, like where the gun ports are, you can normally see it. It goes from one little square, but it then steps out, and steps out again, and steps out again. You can actually use these, cut these down, and glue them on top of each other to actually make that recess back, which would look pretty cool. You could do a lot with them. Also, by gluing two of these thicker ones together, you can make a very good concrete pier for factories and things like that. And casting them in a grey is going to help you with the weathering, because you can do old and new chips. The new chips, you just need to chip it because you've already got the grey. So I can see a lot of applications for this besides just doing windows and doors. And it's a fun little mould. It was a very easy mould, no problems with it. And I think it's one that if you're going to be building quite a few dioramas and you're not quite sure what type of dioramas, is a little mould that you should put in your collection. All I do is I will cast off quite a few and put them into a box and keep them to one side, but when I am building different bits and pieces. Also, it's designed to go 2 pieces of this walling makes it a 9-inch wall. Yeah, so I've got 2 there, I've got another 2 there, so you can generally just get the gist of what's going on. That would go in that side of the wall. As you can see, 2 pieces brings it bang on. Then your lintel, your sill. We're going to have to do this on top, aren't we? But gives you a rough idea of how it will work. I know you have them bricks filled in, but I'm just trying to give you a rough idea. And if you've watched the other one, I've got one here, luckily. The actual one I broke is the plasterboard. Now, internally, you just lay that, glue that to the wall to get your interior. So that will be the exterior, your brickwork on, and the interior with your plasterboard, or your plastered walls. Very, 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 very useful. Very, very useful thing indeed. Recommend that you get one and use one. Right, that's the review on that, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much.